Hello everybody, we are going to go through my favorite prenatal yoga class that I've been doing throughout my pregnancy and have perfected at the end of my weeks of being pregnant. I'm 33 weeks today, so you can get a kind of an idea what you can do based on my size. Okay, so we're going to start in tabletop position. Hands under the shoulders, knees under hips, and you're just going to breathe into your belly. Don't move anything else except for your belly. So you're going to inhale, let the belly drop, and exhale, pull the belly in. So it's like you're hugging your baby with your abs. Pull the belly in. Inhale, let it drop. Exhale, pull in. We're going to repeat that 4 more times. Two more. Last one. And now we're going to move into cat-cow. So inhale, drop the belly, lift the hips, lift the gaze. Exhale, round the spine. Inhale, repeat. Exhale, pull the belly in, round the spine. Push the floor away to get a further rounding in the back. Rock our hands out to heart melting pose, get some opening in the chest. And then we're going to drag our hands towards our knees as we round the spine. And then inhale, plant the hands back to tabletop. Inhale again for cow. We're going to try that again. So drop the hands down for heart melting. And then exhale, pull the hands in, round the spine. You're going to get a little bit more rounding in this position. Inhale to cow. Now we're going to tuck our toes under and sit back on our heels. And then you're going to move that little pinky toe that might be trying to escape and tuck him under. And then we're going to drag our hands down. Exhale for round and spine. Inhale, open. So we're getting a lot of spinal mobility here. Pull in. Tuck the pelvis. Inhale, open. Now use our hands, interclass your hands. Push away while you round. Inhale, lift the hands. And then exhale to the right. Open that left side body, inhale back up. Exhale to the left, open that right side body. Feels so good. Inhale back up. Arms into cactus arms. Lift the chest and then interclasp your hands behind your back. Inhale, lift. Exhale, right ear to right shoulder. Inhale, lift. Exhale, left ear to left shoulder. Inhale, lift. Hands back down, shake the feet out. And take a moment here, if you haven't grabbed blocks, grab some yoga blocks that will help you in your practice. You don't need them, it's not necessary, but it'll help you a lot to position yourself. So you can grab them just in case, or if you know you need them, definitely grab them. So I'll give you a moment for that now. We'll take a couple deep breaths in down dog. So we're going to come into down dog. It's like an upside down V or a teepee. Bend the knees. Let's widen the feet a little bit because we have bellies, especially if you're in the same week as I am or close. Bend the knees and then point the sit bones to the ceiling. push your chest through your arms and then knit your ribs down. Breathe here. You should feel a wave-like motion when you breathe. When you expand, your chest lifts, and when you exhale, your chest melts towards the mat or towards your knees. Inhale. Exhale. Walk your hands back. Squat down into a nice pregnancy labor prep squat, malasana. Press your palms together. Press your elbows into your knees. Lift the chest. Breathe into here. Opening that pelvic floor. Inner thigh to help proper labor. Opening the pelvic floor muscles. Remember to lift the chest. And then what I like to do from here is kind of like release the hands and then push the right knee open, switch to the left, getting some nice inner thigh opening, which is really important in pregnancy and labor and birth. You're gonna need these inner thighs to work properly. Okay, plant the hands, lift the hips, and let your body hang for a nice hamstring stretch. Wide leg for pregnant people. Breathe here, settle in. You can sway your hips right to left to get some more motion. And then inhale, lift. And then we're gonna walk back to down dog here. Feet a little bit more narrow because we're gonna lift the right leg up. Squeeze the glute, engage the quad, and then you're going to point the foot. Exhale, step outside of the right hand. Need a nice open wide stance in all of these poses when you're pregnant. Drop the knee, lift the chest, inhale. Exhale, round the spine, tuck the pelvis. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. And then plant the hands down, lift the back leg, and you're gonna rock back and forth. Usually here you can use blocks or the tips of your fingers just to get more opening in the chest. But you're gonna rock back and forth on your back foot. And then drop your knee down, lift it back up, all the way up, straighten the legs. Lift the front toes as you exhale. Inhale, repeat back to that start position. Inhale, drop the knee. Exhale, round the spine, straighten the legs. And then we're gonna walk our hands over to Skandasana. So you're walking your hands over to the back leg, bend the back knee, getting more of that inner thigh stretch here. So you're either gonna be right here, or all the way down. And just breathe here. And then you're gonna plant your back foot down, lift up. You can use your hands to lift up. Point your feet towards the back wall. Plant your hand on the block or floor. Reach open through the arms, so we're in extended side angle. Inhale, open the rib cage. Exhale, crunch it back in. Sink the hips. Inhale, lift the hips. Round the rib cage. Exhale, down. Plant the hand down. Spin on the back ball of the foot. Take the block out of the way. And then you're gonna lift back into down dog. So now we're just gonna repeat that same exact thing to the other side. Take a couple deep breaths here, reposition yourself. And then inhale, lift the left leg up, strength in the glutes, straight in the leg. Exhale, step outside of the left hand. Inhale, drop the knee, lift the chest. Exhale, round the spine. Inhale, lift the chest. And round the spine. Plant the hands down or on the fingertips or a block. And then straighten that back leg. So now you can see it from the back part. And you're just moving back and forth on your ball of your foot. And then we're going to exhale, round, straighten the legs. Lift the back toes. Come forward, inhale. And exhale, lift. Hold here, and then walk your hands over to Skandasana. So you can stay here. Plant the foot down. You know, get some opening in here if you're not quite flexible enough, or drop all the way down, lift the toes. I'm going to take a couple breaths wherever you are. And then plant the back foot, spin the front foot towards the front wall. Grab your block, or plant your hand on the inner foot. Grab your block, reach the arm up and over. Okay, so we're gonna lift the hips while our spine rounds. And then exhale in. Lift up. Exhale. And come back to down dog. Take a couple deep breaths here. You might want to grab some water. I forgot to grab mine, so I'm going to do that right now. Okay, so we're going to move on. Turn down dog. See if you can straighten the right leg, lift up and bend and open this time to get a nice stretch on that front hip. And then step on the outer edge of the mat. Get that nice wide stance. And then you can use your hand to lift up. Crescent lunge here. So bend in, back leg is straight. It's kind of like that other pose we were doing, except your chest is lifted all the way up. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bend the knee. Interclasp the hands together. Reach up. Exhale, bend to the right. Get a nice opening in the front of the hip. Come back up. You can either stay here, grab opposite elbows, lift the chest, bend to the right again. Opening up that left side body, lift back up. One last inhale, and then exhale. Plant the hands, straighten the front leg, and let the heart and chest melt towards that leg. Here you can also use blocks to bring yourself closer, but just breathe here. We're going to take some nice deep breaths to open up that right hamstring. All you're going to do now is rebend the front leg. Try to keep the back heel planted, getting a nice calf stretch on the back leg. So here you're nice and strong. So now you want to use your back body to lift the chest. Hold here, getting some strength in the back muscles, and breathe. Keep the gaze looking down towards the floor. And then we're going to slowly bring all of our weight into this leg and lift off into airplane here. Lift through the back body. Lift the arms up. Lift the leg and glute. Point through the foot. And then stand all the way up, getting a nice balancing pose here. See if you can hold straight in that bottom leg. Lift through the chest. And then we're going to come into tree pose, a very good pose for strengthening that whole pelvic floor, inner thigh. So a couple of options. You can put your foot on your ankle and balance here. Energy of the inner thighs pressing together. Same thing here. You're pressing your foot. This is the full expression. You're pressing your foot into your inner thigh and your inner thigh into your foot, and then you're activating that glute to open up this inner thigh here. Squeezing the right glute, squeezing the left. Hold here. I'm gonna position myself back up while you guys hold. You're anchoring with the big toe mound of the standing leg. Reach up towards the sky. And then release, come back to that starting position. And then we're gonna come into funky chair. Very good hip opener. Cross the left leg over the right, and then sit down. Keep this top foot flexed to protect the knee. Breathe into that left outer hip. It feels so good. Couple more deep breaths. Let's see if we can plant that left foot in front of the right, and then bend over, getting a nice deeper hamstring stretch on the right. Feel free to bend that left leg. Hands are gonna be forward and not close to the feet when you're pregnant or bigger, because you wanna have room for the belly, so we're not gonna compress the belly. Okay, from here, we're gonna shoot our right leg back to the middle back mat, and we're gonna come into a pigeon pose. So you drop that left knee down, scoot that back hip back. So we just open up the hips, so this should feel fine. We're getting a nice stretch deeper into that hip flexor, and I just want you to breathe here. I like to tuck my back foot under to protect the knee, but you don't have to, just play with that foot placement. And you're trying to remain vertical. You've probably seen it where they walk down, but just breathe here. You're welcome to stay here or walk your hands down. So this is what it would look like. Or you're going to bend this back leg, grab the back foot, and you can stay here or pull in to your degree. Getting a nice quad stretch on that side. Walk your hands back up wherever you are. Come back to tabletop position. So from here, we're gonna work in the hips. So you're gonna rotate your hips around, really getting a nice rotation in the hips. So we just work them a lot. Rotate the other way. And before you make it to down dog, take a drink of water. And then we're gonna go back to down dog. Perfect. Down dog here, a little bit of a narrow stance as you lift the left leg up, bend and open the hip. Squeeze the left glute. You're gonna feel a nice stretch on that front side body. Feels so good when we're pregnant because it's so tight right there. And then exhale, step on the outer edge of the mat here. Nice wide stance. Use your left hand to lift up on the knee. Crescent lunge, opposite side. So repeating everything to the opposite side now. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, bend in. Inhale, interclasp the hands together. Hold. Inhale, and then exhale, bend to the left. Inhale, back up. Stay here, or grab opposite elbows. Lift the chest up. Exhale to the left. Inhale, back up. And then exhale. exhale, straighten both legs and breathe. Okay, rebend that front leg without lifting the back heel. You can move your heel closer and then lift through that back body, lift through the arms, and hold and breathe, getting some strength in the back muscles. And then slowly lift up to airplane. Lift through the back muscles, arms and leg. Micro bend in the bottom leg. Inhale, stand up, bend the front leg, or bend the leg that's floating. Hold here, getting some nice balance. It's really important to get balance practice when you're pregnant because our weight changes and our balance mechanism changes. We don't want to have any falls. So now tree pose to your degree, pressing the right foot into the left inner thigh. Pressing the hands together, glutes on both sides, opening up that hip. Breathe here. Steady gaze. Pick something to look at and hold that gaze. Lift your arms up. One last inhale. Exhale back to the starting position, and then we're going to come into funky chair. So a little figure 4 here. Bend in, flex that foot. You can do a little press in that right knee. You might notice one side is tighter than the other. This is my tighter side. Breathe here. Breathing into that outer right hip. And then drop that front leg over the back leg. Walk your hands out, getting that left hamstring, keeping the right knee bent. After this practice, you're gonna feel amazing. Okay, so from here, we're gonna shoot our left leg back and then drop our right knee down. And then slowly squirm your left leg back a little bit more to get some more room. And then chest is vertical. So you're just gonna breathe here. Really important pose when you're pregnant. And there's some modifications that I have in previous or other videos. So if you need to look at that, it's called deer pose. So you're gonna walk your hands out or bend your back leg, get a nice quad stretch, pulling in. Give you a couple breaths to figure out which one you wanna kinda land in, or you can do both. You can also walk out for a couple deep breaths. Walk your hands back up. Plant your hands and then come back to tabletop position. And then we're gonna do that hip circle again. So really tuck your pelvis in, shoot your butt out, come back around, and then switch to the other side. You should feel really open in your hips. You're gonna sit back, take a drink of water, take a break. And then we'll meet back into down dog. Reposition those leggings back over the belly. Down dog. Notice how balanced your hips may feel and how open they are. And just know that you can always come back to this beautiful balanced place by coming back to this yoga practice. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, plant the right foot down. And then you're gonna spin the back foot so it's parallel to the back of the mat. And then slowly lift up to warrior two. So bend in. So this front foot is in line with the back arch. Roll your shoulders down and back. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and gaze is over that middle finger as you breathe here. Drop the left arm down. Lift the right arm. Inhale. And then exhale, come back to starting. And then you're gonna spin that back heel in as well. So now, I'm gonna face you. Now you're in a horse stance, goddess pose here. This is really good for opening in pregnancy, birth, labor. Press in the inner thigh on the left. Inhale up, press the inner thigh on the right. Plant your hands, spin the heels out, toes in. Take a couple deep breaths here. And I'm just going to reposition myself on the mat while you continue those breaths. Spin the front foot back to warrior two position, and you're going to grab that block, or if you don't need the block, that's fine, but you just plant your hand on the block, lift the left arm up, and then you're going to go up and over, extended side angle. So you can drop your hand outside of the leg, some deep breaths here, and then lift back up, straight in the front leg, reach up and back. And then from here, we're coming to triangle pose. You want to like toe heel your back foot back up, and you want to spin it inwards. So they're at a little 45-degree angle. And then you're going to stick your butt out, reach towards the front of the room, drop your hand down, lift your left arm up, circle around here. And what I like to do next is bring my arm back behind my back and then let my ear drop down towards the mat to get an opening of the neck. While you're still opening the chest, and now from here, you're going to rebend that front leg. Plant the block or your hand in front of that foot, and then lift up into half moon. So you're really engaging that top leg. And then lift that left arm, hold here. From here, plant that left hand down. You're coming to standing splits. So lift up so you're facing the front of the mat now. And then drop that left leg down to the back of the mat. Plant the left hand down. We're coming into side plank. So you can walk your right foot down the mat and spin your body so it's in the side plank position. So you can hold here, this is a modification. Or you can come feet together, or tree pose. Lift up, come back to down dog. Drop down to tabletop position. Sit back on your heels and take a nice drink break. Because, you know, we're pregnant and we need a lot of water. So we're going to repeat that to the opposite side with a little bit different in the goddess pose. So come back to down dog. Lift the left leg up. Step it through. Spin the back heel parallel to the back of the mat. Reach up and around. Settle in. Warrior two. And then reach up and back. Come back to center. Goddess pose here. Same thing, so sink in. Now we're gonna do elbows on top of our knees. We're just gonna go side to side to get some ankle mobility. Inner thigh opening. Last one. Lift up, drop your hands, spin and heels out, toes in. And then drop your head. You can stay here or reach your hands behind your back, interclasp your hands. Squeeze your back body and then drop your hands towards the floor. Breathe here. And then slowly release that. Spin the front foot back to warrior two position. Walk your hands towards the front. Take your block or without a block. Reach arm up and around to extended side angle here. And then lift your torso up, straighten the front leg, reach back. Hands on your hips, toe heel, your back foot in. So now it's at a 45-degree angle. It's internally rotated. And then you're gonna stick your butt out. Reach towards the front of the room. Drop your hand on that block. Reach the right arm up and over for triangle pose. Reach the arm back up and around. See if you can grab the top leg here. And then twist the chest open. Drop the left ear to the left shoulder. Rebend that front leg. Look down. Plant the block in front of that foot. And slowly lift up into half moon. Woo. If you fall, it's normal. Just engage those muscles. And then drop that right hand down. Standing splits here. And then bend the front leg, shoot the right leg back to the back of the mat. And then you're gonna plant your hand, left foot, kind of toe heels to middle of the mat. Side plank here. Scoot that foot up, engage the glutes, stack the feet up, come into tree, and then down dog. Take a break. So beautiful. So now we're coming into the last portion of our prenatal yoga class. Take a break. Okay, so we're coming back to down dog. And breathe here. Lift the right leg up. Step it through to warrior one this time. So back foot spins about a 45-degree angle, really wide stance. Lift through the chest. Inhale. So you're gonna interclasp your hands together, place it on the back of your head where you're, like if you had a low ponytail, like I do. Really bend into that front leg. And then we're gonna push our head back into our hands. Getting a nice repositioning of the head over the shoulders. It's really good for your cervical, neck, spine. And then reach back up. And then we're gonna just straighten the front leg and then lift the back foot up about an inch. Straighten the front leg and come into pyramid pose. So it's just a nice stretch for the hamstring. Wide stance. Breathe here. Lift the chest, rebend the front leg, and then take that left back leg, shoot it back further. So you're back into that nice lizard lunge. Drop the back knee down, and then you're gonna lift up, reach the left arm up, and reach over to the right. So you're gonna either stay there, getting a nice hip flexor stretch, or you're gonna bend your back leg, squeeze your heel towards your glute, getting a nice quad stretch. The last option, to toe heel your right foot out, drop your left hand, come into twisted monkey. So it's a nice quad stretch here. Pull in, this feels so good because we've got all these muscles pulling on our hips in all these directions. So we wanna keep them as balanced as possible. Okay, slowly release the foot down, and then you're gonna just swing your leg back to tabletop and then back to down dog. Repeat to the other side. Inhale, lift the left leg up, step it through for warrior one. Spin the back leg, back foot back at a 45-degree angle. Really wide stance. Lift up here. Squeeze the back glute here on the right. Lift up, bend in. Interclasp your hands. So your head is kind of like forward, you want to push it back. It's kind of like you're relaxing on a couch or on a floaty in the pool. But really, we really want to get that head positioned correctly so it doesn't put a lot of pressure on your neck. And we tend to be pulling ourselves forward in pregnancy with all the weight on our forward body. Breathe here. Lift up, hands on hips, walk or hop that back foot forward, square the hips back, and then melt the chest down to pyramid pose. Breathe here. Deep breath. Plant your hands on the inside, top of the mat, bend the front leg, then shoot the right leg back. So you're in that lizard lunge, and then drop that back knee down. Lift up, reach the right arm up and over. Beautiful. And then from here, you can grab that back foot, pull that heel towards the glute. Stay here if it feels really good, or you can try that twisted monkey. So you're toe heeling that left foot out, planting that right hand, and then pulling your heel. You could be out here, you could be close to your glute, it doesn't matter. And then open towards that left, breathe in. And then slowly release. Plant the hands. Come back to tabletop, sit back, take another break. And then we have one final pose to do, which is a wide-legged child's pose. We haven't done child's pose yet, but it's a really good resting pose. Wide legs will help release the back, open up the inner thighs, and it might give you a little bit more extra room for your baby. If you have those blocks, that will give you some extra room here too if you plant your hands on the blocks. So you're gonna sit back, widen the knees, and sit back here. So really wide, and you can either like hang out, because it depends on the how far along you are in pregnancy. So this is a little modification for the child's pose. But basically you can stretch your arms out. Or you can put your hands on top of the blocks. And then sit back up. From here, you're gonna swing your feet around, feet together, knees out into butterfly pose, and see how far you can lean forward. This is also a modification if you don't want to do the other pose, but this is a hip opener for the outer and inner thighs. So it's going to be variable how you feel it, depending on your degree of tension in those areas and the day, how much activity you've done or how much you've were sedentary. A lot of these yoga poses we did today were prepping you for having a really good pregnancy with no pain, but also having those certain muscles activated and opened to prepare you for labor and birth. So I hope you enjoyed it, and if you feel any tension in your body and really loved the release it gave you, please come back to this as much as you can.